Hey, welcome to the Future AI podcast. Today I have Ms. Mohsina Tanveer with me. She's an excellent AI creator and she works on a very niche area, AI with fashion, modest fashion, right? So, very happy to have you on my show.
Thank you so much. A very good morning to you. So, I am really honored that you called me as your very first guest on the podcast. Yeah, I'm extremely excited. Let's see what we can do.
Definitely. So, what initiated? Are you a fashion designer?
Firstly, no, I'm not a
Okay.
fashion designer, but I do have a knack about aesthetics because I am an ardent hijab lover. And as you see, I'm wearing something like a plain hijab. So that's how my entire attire is. So anywhere I go, I cannot go without this. And I've seen people also like me who are really crazy about hijabs, but they don't know how exactly much we can do better with the designing of hijabs. It's not just a matter about the fabric. I see if we add a little bit of creativity to it, it definitely stands out because we are stuck to a stereotypical way of fashion, and that I wanted to change using AI, and that helped me initially to just come out with vague ideas which were not practical enough. But later, as time went by, I started studying.
Okay.
Though I'm not a designer, I started studying about what are the different embroideries, what are the techniques about 3D layering, and how those are going to be printed on a fabric. Those things helped me to start and research, and then I put all my hard work into generating these images.
Okay. So that means you're saying AI gave you superpowers, right? So you always had that thought inside your brain, but with AI, you're able to actually pursue that art, right?
Convenience, I would say.
Okay.
It was convenient for me to see what is formatted in my head to bring it out on screen. So whatever was not practical, I was just carried away. Okay, we can do this, but then it got me matured, as in when I started like learning about things, it started making me feel that okay, this is doable and this is not everything can be artistic all the time. Something has to be practical. So those things, I think only AI was able to help me.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
was convenient. Yeah, that's like I take it as a tool which was convenient for me to practice what I actually prefer doing to.
Yeah, that's very interesting. See, that's the theme of our podcast: human plus AI collaboration, right? So it's a very good example of how AI can actually help us in realizing our dreams, right? So previously, I also would like to share a simple experience, right? When I started my career in 1998, that was like more than 25 years ago, right? So creating an image, like it was only possible in two ways mostly. Either you need to take a photograph or you need to create in the computer. Of course, you can draw and take a photograph again. So either photograph or create. Right? It was very hard to even get images, for our communication, for our marketing communication websites in those days. But look at now, right? So you are just creating images right out of your prompts,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So all you're doing is asking. That means
Correct.
you're thinking, you're visualizing, you're imagining and asking. So how did you see this transformation? Right? When was the first time you got to know about okay, there is a possibility to create images with AI?
Okay. Okay.
Right? Yeah.
See, yeah. I started back in August 2023. So that was somewhere close to almost I have completed 4 months without work. I quit my job. I was a banker back then. So I quit like 9 years job and I didn't have anything to do. So that was something like, I feel that was a rock bottom phase for me mentally. And there need to be something for me to get out of what I really wanted to do and what I want to pursue. So that balance I started finding using AI. And I happened to begin with a very minimalistic things. I didn't know how to prompt, nobody taught or anything. It was just all on learning and experience. Yes, of course, we'll find some influencers talk about it, some references about it. So I began experimenting, I would say, on Dali, and I started with just a minimalistic bag, a Gucci bag with galaxic interpretations.
Okay.
So that was my very first prompting experience, and there I happened to see like what mind blowing results AI can do. So these things like happen to be worked on a daily basis. Then I started to retrieve my niche. Let's see what I can do basis my passion or my love for fashion. And
Okay.
not everybody were doing as well. Yes, there was so much of Western and other outfits like standing out. There, I wanted to make my name stand someone different, and I want to be known as what I am inside and outside too. So with AI,
Wonderful.
it was easy. I was able to communicate, and things like that really took fast with AI.
Excellent. So you started with Dali.
Yes,
Dali 2 or 3?
it was the
Okay. Okay. So then what are all other tools you tried?
that was my very first tool. Then I directly hopped on Midjourney. So I started looking out for videos, and yes, my husband is also an architect who uses
Oh,
Midjourney vastly. So we actually thought, okay, let's work together as a team. So he's interested in one, and I was interested in one. I took some references of camera angles and what type of photography I should be like including. Earlier, my prompts were like just very vague. Then I started adding parameters, and then later came tokens in Midjourney. Then, as and when it got evolved, I started using Flux model.
oh,
Rubber band was one of my go-to tool after
okay.
Midjourney, I would say. Yeah,
Okay.
and Kriya for enhancing my images. I am very fond of Magnific, but it's out of reach for me, so
I know.
I didn't get a chance to like use that. Video
Okay.
generations, I am starting right now with exploration of few tools.
Okay. So that's wonderful. On Flux, have you tried training the Flux models like LoRa's?
Yes, my next motive is to start LoRa training. I've started to understand. Earlier, it was like too tough for me to get into this technical side about how these trainings work and what are nodes and things like that. But as and when you get exposed to, the materials become very simpler to understand. And now
Yes.
it's like it's just a matter of 10 images will be fine to do a LoRa training. All you have
True.
to do is the right lighting and the right composition. Those things you'll have to get some research done. So that's the best part about what I see right now. Doing a LoRa training will be the best time is, I think
Yes.
so.
Yes. Wonderful. So let me ask you some tough questions about prompting. Right. So what's your take on structuring the prompt? Right. So is there any specific template or structure that you follow when you're writing the prompts? Can you just give us some ideas?
Definitely, I'd be happy to. So, when I started, like I said, back in August 2023, it was just a two-line prompt and that's it. It created wonders. Now it's not like that. If you have to stand out, you have to follow a structured workflow while writing a prompt. And that would begin with how your subject should be looked at, as what is your type of photography you would like to have. So, number one, having the basic knowledge about photographic angles is very important, at least for what I do.
Right.
And I think it works well for landscapes and like architectural design as well, because I do now and then that too. So starting with the photographic angles, then what is your subject, then your color compositions, a reference. Mostly, I make use of reference with the internal research. Like for example, if I want something like a batik embroidery, so I start looking for what are the keywords that I can include from that particular embroidery into my prompt. And yes, now I started doing these SREFs, right? So we
Yes,
have
right.
this,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
identify, firstly, I'll identify giving the random. We don't have to specifically give a particular SREF. Just find out what is your random there. And once you get the result of that, you choose any one of it and give your the
Yes.
numbers, particular numbers for it. So that's how my Midjourney and a Midjourney prompt ends with. Also, the aspect ratio and the stylized token. That's something very common.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's good. So is there any method, like in the prompt itself, you need to put your objects in an order, right, to get a required outcome. So does the order matter?
definitely. Because if you do not give the orders properly, the sequential effect will be like when you know the first output, you'll get to know where you're going wrong.
Hmm.
So the trial and error will happen with your first prompt. For example, when I started, I happened to concentrate on the model's face and the hijab only. But later I identified when I'm getting only the hijab, I see a lot of noise on the hijab much, which was making
Okay.
it very inconvenient for the user or the audience. Yeah, of course, the image looked perfect, but when you have to see through a very sharp razor precision sight, you'll get to see there's so much of noise around it, which I later started to understand that I should concentrate on the environment also.
Correct.
So that's where the lighting, the composition, and the colors made a very important focus for me.
Okay. So you've been using Midjourney, I suppose, from 5.1. Currently, I guess it's 6.1.
Six
6.
point.
All right. So, what changes have you been seeing? Because, as you know, models evolve,
Yes,
right? The
yes,
initial models were scary. I still have those pictures, right? How scary they
great,
were when I
great.
started, right? So, what are all the changes that you have been seeing nowadays? So, not you can't say years now, so only months, right? So everything is changing so fast, especially mid journey.
Midjourney, yeah. Midjourney, when I started with too much of the face is very plastic and artificial. So that was initially it was like very cool and things they turned out nice, but when after a point of time it became very saturated. I was not liking my own images. So then came the part of like those little minute imperfections, right? Those got included in Midjourney. For example, the freckles on the face, the eye retina things, those things started to glow better in the new models.
Right.
Also the controls, the most important is the control that we got in the new model, where we will be able to tweak the prompt according to our preference. Like you have the option to weight your prompt, how you want to make the reference stand out, whether it is like a creative point or you want to just make it very normal looking. So those things were under control in the new models.
Okay.
And yeah, you don't have to keep on making sure that your prompt is in the right structure. If you just modify 2 3 words, that makes a lot of difference in the new models. For
Okay.
example, like if I have to iterate the prompts, I don't do much as I was doing in my previous models.
Okay. Got it.
So image references had come to a very stage where it's easy for us to do the next level of prompting rather than just sticking to one set of
Right, right.
instructions.
Actually, that that is inspiring me to ask the next question. Right, as you know, all these AI models are probabilistic. Right, they won't give
Yes,
you the same kind of output even if you use the same prompt, the same set
yes,
of conditions. Right.
yes,
Whereas, when you actually want to create, when you want to create, let's say the fashion creations, you want to have the same facial features and body structure, so that you can show the same model but with different dresses and attire, right? So how do you make sure that the character is consistent throughout all of your images?
When you say consistency, it is always with the cref command. Earlier it was like very breaking to see different images with different people on the on my posts. But however, when the cref command got introduced, it made it whole lot of like a storyline itself.
Okay.
Like, I see that your images should speak to the audience rather than just they stop, they say beautiful and they go. No, that shouldn't be the case. So when you want to create a story, the cref command, the consistency can be maintained with the cref, and that's how it started. But with cref, I found a problem. I also happen to like take this with Mid Journey as a feedback to them. I did a storyline for a cause which was on education for girls in India. So it was all about how you need to empower people using AI. So I needed up a story which I had to come up for a challenge, and in that story, I found a very very contrasting thing. What was that is like I wanted to tell a story about a small Indian village girl, like how she became like empowering for the entire village just because of her exposure to education.
Okay.
So not many in Indian villages are okay for providing a girl education. That was my main focus. So when I started with a small toddler, and then I moved on to a 7-year-old kid, then so on, a young adult, and like that. When I got in as just including in my prompt as an Indian girl, it just hallucinated so badly.
Yeah.
Like everywhere, and it was a CRF command. Everywhere I was getting different faces. So there I just lost hope. But then I realized my other fellow creators were having perfect results with all the faces.
Okay.
So I gave a try with a European or a American or a Latina. Like I just tried those experiments, and I'm able to get perfect results with CRF.
Okay.
South Asians, no. I didn't try of course, the East Asians because most of
I got
them,
the point.
yeah.
Yeah. I
So
got the point.
that was not my focus. I wanted to try this, and I was so shocked that I happened to comment on somebody who was like very active with the CRIF post, and I was able to tell them that, see, look, this is the problem. They were able to put across with Midjourney, and but I don't know, like after that, did they even take track of it or what? For now, after this 6.1 got introduced, I'm able to see a very like not 100% result, but of course close to 80% when I tag in as an Indian girl or an Indian adult. I'm
Okay.
able to get almost similar results.
Yeah, I guess they're training well,
They're training
right,
well,
on the
exactly.
Indian faces. Yeah, that's how they evolve. And yeah, even the competition is intensifying in this space, right? So everybody is enhancing their models. Google is into this space now,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Even Loma Dream Machine is into this space, right? So I'm very glad that everybody is actually competing and giving us good tools, right? As an end user, yes, the things that we can do with AI, they're definitely growing, right? So the
yes.
other day I got the access for Sora, right?
Oh,
Google
that's
seems they released and their model, of course, it's not
beautiful.
available to public, but it seems it is doing a damn good job,
I
right?
just happen to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that means what is going to happen, right? So all these changes, I guess, they happened in the last 2 years mostly,
correct,
right? And in the last 15 days itself, we saw so many changes.
correct,
OpenAI released a lot of new things, and Google released a lot of new things, right? And all of the tools they're getting enhanced very fast, right?
correct.
Kling has added some changes, and Minimax made some changes, right? So when you look at all of these, rapid changes in the applications, right? How do you see the future of creators, let's say, in the next 6 months?
Okay. I definitely see that if something is like growing so fast, there can be a disruption in the art form. So there, your human creativity will play a very major role, is what I see. For
Okay.
example, if I have to quote, when A.R. Rahman started, he started with bringing in synthesizers, and he was deeply criticized for that. Uh, Now he uses synthesizers, but he also makes sure that he has the human touch,
Okay.
because of which we know what he is for today. Now people are like lauding his workflow. He was clever back then to use both of it, and now he's like really gone to next level music director where any director will go to him. And I
Okay.
see similarly AI like that. So if we are not catching up to the space, yes, of course, this is overwhelming for me itself. But if we are not ready to understand how AI is going to make our lives convenient, like as you say, the time saving component for for us to think better, or maybe we concentrate on the most productive things. The rest of the things we leave it to AI.
Hmm.
The tools we need to structure. For example, for me, the structure is always I use ChatGPT, Perplexity, then come to Midjourney, or if I have to use image references, I try to create one, or I try to like look for stock images, of course. So then, after when it comes to a writing point, my writing will be mine only. I
Hmm.
want the story will be to be Mohsina's story, and those tools have to only give me the power to make it a little refined and make it better. That's it
Yes,
is.
yes,
They
I
has
like
no.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
good, good. So what you're saying is, when the human plus AI collaboration, AI is changing very fast. But what human has to do, certain things won't change. Okay. So what you're also saying, we shouldn't be too much dependent upon the tools. We need to
of
know where to
course.
put that line,
Of
right?
course.
Hey, this is not yours.
Stop there.
This is mine,
Correct.
right? I want to have the control on it,
Correct.
right? For example, the same I also experienced. I used to kind of, because we were curious, right? When we had a magical machine, that's all we do. We think,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
this
right.
is it, right? Let ChatGPT take care of every damn thing. But later, yes, you slowly realize that, oh no, right? So do, you cannot use ChatGPT for all the things, right? You need to do your thinking first,
Thinking. Yes,
right?
yes.
So there is a fine line. Okay, there is something that ChatGPT can do better than you, right? But you still need to have the control. For example, when you're writing a story, the original seed idea should be yours,
Yours. Very right. Very right.
and you should write your own outline, because you need to decide where it starts and where it ends, and let ChatGPT fill in the spaces,
Correct.
right? And you cannot go and ask ChatGPT, "Hey, write a story for me."
No.
Then you are totally defeating the purpose, right?
You're
Yeah,
not
I got the
growing
point.
there.
Thank you.
Yeah, we aren't growing. We many people, I think, my circle of friends, they think that okay, ChatGPT is something which will do my work. No, I try to tell them I was in a situation like that. Okay, I'll sit at least for 2 hours straight to understand. Okay, this is not the right image for me. But now I don't do that.
Okay.
Whatever image I am, let me connect a story with it. Let me make it look brilliant and let it be connecting with the local audience. They should see even those little nuances in those photographs.
Okay.
Uh, Anyways, like this is a digital art. Anything that is a matter of fact, we are only able to do what is possibly AI is letting us to do. But where we have to ask AI to stop, it is in your control.
Yes.
So I always tell my friends to not do that. But yeah, some are like, no, they
Yeah,
are like,
probably they'll realize. I have seen that
right.
realization in many of the
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah.
So, see, we also have that sense in our mind that we don't want to feel that feeling where we're not in that in the
The
control,
FOMO feeling.
right? When
Yeah.
we are not controlling things, we don't like it,
Yes. Yes.
right? Initially, we may agree, but later, yes, we keep AI where it belongs,
Where it belongs. Very true. Yes.
right? But of course, we need to know how to leverage, right? How to use the potential of AI in our workflow,
Correct.
right? So, in that context, yeah, what you're saying is these tools are evolving and they're giving you more features, they're giving you more control, right? So, in the next 6 months, yes, things will evolve even faster, right? Probably you may just create an image right out of your thought, maybe, I don't know, right? You just think and the image will be created, but still you need to think,
We need to think. Yes.
right? And definitely the quality will improve, and the creative controls will increase, right?
Correct.
We'll be able to, for example, image creation, yes, that's a big area. And when it comes to video creation, yes, we need a lot of control, right? Just using prompts will not be able to build films. And of course, we're trying, but we need a greater creative control on the location, on the character, on the moments, and a lot of things, especially on the lip sync,
Yeah.
right? The
Lips.
expressions,
Yeah.
right? So I personally see there are lots of changes happening in that area, right? Because that's what
Yeah.
we observe, we experiment on, because we're building our own tool to create videos right out of a prompt. Okay,
Amazing.
so we work in the automation. So as of now, yes, there is definitely an improvement in terms of creative control, right?
Yeah.
Especially the consistent character, because when you're building a film, you want to make sure that the characters are consistent, right? You cannot have one person in first frame and another person in after some time, right? So that is one of the biggest problems we need to get the solutions for, and also the movements, body movements. They need to adhere to physics,
Yes.
right? I know, how pathetic the videos were some time ago, right? Not respecting any of the physical laws, right? They keep
Yeah.
on moving here and there in some
Yeah.
models. I guess Google's new model, it is, I guess, the best based on the examples that I have seen, right?
Okay. Okay.
There was a specific example of cutting tomato,
You do.
right? They were comparing the outcome from runway and from Google Bio, right?
Yeah.
BO2. So it was actually precisely cutting the tomato. The guy's knife is
Yes.
precisely going into the tomato and the pieces are coming out. So that's awesome because Google, that's what I keep on telling, if Google wants to do something big, I think nobody can actually match with that. Right? Somehow they were silent.
Yeah.
They were not doing a lot of things. Probably they were thinking, okay, let others dance for some time, and then we'll tell them who is the boss, right? So I see that coming, especially Google Gemini too, right? It has got a lot of great features,
Yes.
right? It
I
has
believe
got
for
voice.
integration, right?
Yes, yes.
I haven't tried though for image generation or
Oh,
anything as a, yeah, I really haven't given a practice though.
yeah. They're really releasing slowly, slowly. It's not completely available to the public yet. Some of them, but they
Okay.
are making great changes. Right? They also are integrating agents. Right? There will be an agent in the browser. Right? An agent means which can do multiple things. Right? So
Oh,
far, we've been using models. Model is like it has interface. You interact and you get an outcome.
okay, okay,
When it
okay,
comes to agent, it takes to the next level.
okay, okay,
Right?
okay.
For example, let's say you want to go watch a movie. Right? What is the current process? You go to the website, you select the
Right.
movie, and you book the tickets. You go
Seats.
to the movie theater in a cab or on your own vehicle, and you eat something and you come back. So that's the work. So just imagine you ask your browser agent, "Hey, I want to see a movie on this Saturday. Book a ticket." Just imagine the agent automatically thinking about what kind of movie you want to watch and book a ticket in a theater you like, for a show you like, and then book a cab also for that movie, for that show, and also book a restaurant nearby, right? Book the return ticket from the movie theater to your home. Just imagine, how does that sound?
It would sound for me stagnant somewhere
Hmm.
because I'm not doing anything.
No, no, you actually you will need to say, okay, yes, yes, yes. Okay, you are in the control actually. It won't do all the things. Just it can, but the way they are programming the agents is they want to keep the human in the loop. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
probably it may give you options. Hey, I'm thinking you may like these movies. Would you like to go with them or something else?
Okay, okay,
Right? Because 2025 is going to be the year of agents. Every big company, they are trying to work on the agents, or they're trying to give the power of agents to their customers. Right? For example, Salesforce, the number one CRM platform, they created a new kind of business called Agent Force,
okay,
right? Wherein you can have sales agents, marketing agents, all kinds of agents. The softwares are available for you. You just
okay.
need to hire them, configure them, and that's it. Relax, stay relaxed, and just watch the process and let the agent do the work for you. Again, it comes back to our initial thinking. Okay, how much we give to AI and how much we keep. Right. So that
Exactly.
is going to be the change, the biggest change in 2025. So what I'm trying to understand is how does that affect a creator's workflow, right? So currently
Okay.
you're asking the engines to create something, an image or a video or something for you. So tomorrow, let's say there will be creative agents, right? Oh, Mohsina Tanveer likes modest fashion. Okay, I know what her style is, right? Okay, Mohsina, please tell me what kind of image you want to create. Let me do it for you. So, how would you react to that?
Just a small example, I'll let you know. When you
Hmm.
talked about the movies, I immediately happened to just get that OTTs, what we have on our televisions.
Right,
So when we sit down to understand, okay, let's see what we can watch, all I end up doing is just scrolling.
right.
I'll not come to a conclusion, okay, let
True,
me watch
true,
this. So you have n number of options and you'll not know where to go select it.
true.
I think those type of jobs AI can help me out with. Like my
Yes,
preferences,
yes,
my love for what Musida likes. If
yes,
those things particularly are coming in, they show for me. I would be quick enough, depending upon my mood, to understand, okay, let's give this a time and sit and watch.
yes, yes.
Otherwise, it's a waste of time. I also end up not watching anything for the day. So
Definitely.
it's that I don't see that's very convincing for me at any point. So any tasks which are like getting automated, it should be automated in such a way that the person who's going to use it, their preferences, their likes, their dislikes,
Absolutely. That's the
that
point,
should be
actually.
the
Yeah,
program.
absolutely. That's where actually the change is going to happen, right? If it is just a dry automation, nobody wants to
Nobody
go for
wants
it.
to do it.
That's just a
Yeah, yeah.
simple workflow automation, right? Yes, they understand your preferences. That's where actually AI plays a role, right? They are thinking. If it is blind automation, we don't get value out of it.
Value, no value,
Right?
zero.
As you
Yeah,
rightly said, it has to understand about your preferences. In fact, Netflix and many of these platforms, they do it. Right? Without us knowing, they recommend based on our past history and what kind of movies we like, how much time we spend, right? All those things, actually, we don't know that it is happening, but it is already happening. And because
happening.
of that, they make money, right? So, similarly, same, imagine getting applied to the creative work because creative workflow is different slightly, right? So, currently, you are spending a lot of time in crafting the prompts, let's say, right? Currently, let's say to create an ideal image, it is taking about 6 hours, right? Because you need to try and you need to scrap it and then try again, and meanwhile you lose your control. You say, "Come on, let me come back to it later," right? We experience all those things, right? So imagine an agent there helping you achieve what you achieve in 6 hours, let's say in 15 minutes. Okay,
Efficient. Yeah.
but you still have the control, but it eliminates unnecessary work for you. You still control whether you like it or not, you still specify the base parameters, but it eliminates the unnecessary things so that you don't get frustrated.
Yes. Yes. That is there.
All right. So I am envisioning things like that may happen.
But do you think that if we program or wire such things, somewhere we also okay? Now procrastination is on a high level
Yes.
almost.
Yes.
So would we be able to put our tasks for later, for later? Okay, anyhow, within 15 minutes, this is going to get done.
Hmm.
So keeping up with the time may be challenging, is what I think.
Yes, of
Though,
course. It's not like one ready-made means a complete 100% accurate solution that we're going to get. Yes, there will be pitfalls, right? It's like two sides always, 50-50. Once we're getting something better, there will also be a negative side to it. Something positive happens, something negative also happens, right? So the point is, it is going to happen, right?
I understand.
How we choose and how we actually how we accepted the AI itself into our lives. Right? Initially, so many people said, "No, no, no, don't use AI. It is going to eat away our creativity." I was having fights with school owners, right? When I introduced this concept of AI teaching to kids, they were like, "No, no, 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 no. You are thinking wrong. We shouldn't let the kid actually use all these automated things. They should use their own thinking, their own brain." I was like, okay, you will understand a bit later. Slowly, 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 they're understanding, right? So the evolution we cannot stop, right? Things that are happening around us, we have a choice, but eventually we have to adapt to them, and we change how we work with the process. That has been happening, but how well we do it,
How well, how
yes.
responsibly
So
we
that
do.
defines,
Yes.
right, how we see it. Yes, some people see it as, yeah, what are we doing inside, right? Why are we there if AI is taking care of everything? But there can be a slightly different thinking. Okay, 15 minutes, 6 hours to 15 minutes, that means I can achieve more in a day, right? I can do more things in a day, and probably it can increase my productivity, it can increase my finances, right? The income, that can be probably a positive way to think about it. That's what I think, right? It's again an individual choice.
I think people who are into this AI race will have to move like a tsunami. Either
Yes.
you surf it or you're going to just get drowned. So
Yes.
that's how AI is like evolving on. everyday basis. But people who are like still not into this, I don't know if this is going to be like they'll be able to cope up, or would there be anything to give them a self realization, just because they are like they'll have that FOMO at the end of the day. So those
Yes.
things are like worrisome. So
Yes.
we
Yes.
our mental health is whatever it is, we are a living intelligence, so we can
Yes.
handle some stimulation for a particular time only.
Yes.
But when you keep getting exposed to that stimulation, that will also cause a lot of adverse effects, is what I think so.
Yeah, it happened with social media, right?
Yeah,
Previously, people were like, okay, they were hating the social media, sharing everything on social media, and sticking, gluing to social media channels. But eventually, it changed many people. They're doing it now, right? So yes, things will change, and again, we need to have some methods, right? Some frameworks to actually safeguard us, especially children,
very much. I scared for children only, most
yes,
importantly.
because it's like social media itself was kind of too much, right? Everything is there and there is no control. Now on top of it, AI. Previously they were just watching what others have created. Now they can create
We
themselves,
can create.
right? So considering all of these things, do you think there should be some education, right, for children as well as for adults also,
Yes.
because things are changing very fast. Of course, some people are on the front line who are actually seeing all of these changes on regular basis. But people who are in the backside, when they are exposed to it, right, should they know, okay, hey, this is how it works. These are the do's and these are the don'ts, right? These things are good, these things are bad, right? So, do you think there should be some kind of uh, education on that?
Very important, Chiranjeevi, because we adults itself are like lagging to know where we should stop. At one point of time, we have to understand, okay, this is enough for the day or for the work that you want. But when it comes to children, you don't know like how badly or roughly they can use.
Yes.
So when you as an adult are not having the control, expecting that from the kids is merely a foolish thing.
Yes, very
So
valid point.
yeah, so when that's not there, you definitely need to educate your kids, or I would primarily call you should educate the adults first.
Okay.
So, parenting is now something like a task. It's not anymore like an enjoyment, like how we were brought up. So people look at us like a task, and every day the duties are like increasing. The kids are like changing. It's not just the AI which is changing; even the humans are changing. If I look at my kid and if I compare another like 10-year-old kid, I see a vast difference. Or be it our generation and the Gen Zs, there's a vast difference. I not even know what they're like talking. They talk in some very weird language.
They have their
So
own code words. Yeah.
yeah, so when there is something like that, according to it, you are educating the children and educating the adults. So it'll be easy for them to understand, okay, I can match up with the AI too. So that they don't have that, like, okay, I'm not going to catch up this race, or they might be a fear, or they'll be scared. No, let me just be away from them, from the AI usage. Those things are something out of the point right now. So we
Right.
have to make sure that the education is important, and people need to be supportive also, because parents are like very skeptical nowadays. Even for a good thing or a good cause, they kind of think twice. So AI is one factor which parents need to understand. They need to apply it to themselves and then make sure that the children are exposed to. Now
Good.
mobile phones are so easily available that like kids don't even eat without the phones, no?
I know.
So AI can be something like that.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
it's
have
really
seen that at my home and the other kids. Right. Somehow that addiction, right? The dependency on mobiles. Yeah, it's scary. And on top of it, AI, right? We don't know what they're doing. So that's why, yes, education is important. And what I'm also thinking is, can we actually guide them towards making something good with AI? Because AI has a creative potential, right? Whenever a kid creates something and showcases it, they feel some kind of gratification, right? The achievement, the sense of achievement. So, can we direct them towards creating some useful things with AI, with the power of AI, which otherwise is like very hard, right? Can we use AI for good?
absolutely. I would connect this with something called as doom scrolling that we have, Chiranjeevi, and that I relate to one of the most hot words I would say called doom prompting when AI
Hmm.
started. So you would also notice there are like in n number of images which are like they don't have or they don't convey any meaning. See,
Right.
one is about educating somebody, providing value, and being consistent with that. So, when you stop doing that, you're harming everybody, not just yourself. So, just for the mere of like validation, your content need not have to be you're using AI. You just want to stand out. No, you need to
Yes.
consume content in such a way that okay, if I do this, I will be able to provide two, three people some information about. That's my main motive. Whenever I start to write or when I create information, so consumption is very important for any creativity to be induced in a child. So when a child, when you say they draw and they show, they seek validation. So
Yes.
we using AI also, I think people are seeking validation, like in the form of likes, numbers. These are very temporary impressions and all of these things. But what they don't realize is you are actually harming the environment for no reason, because the amount of emissions that you are doing basis the no, it's not just one post that they post every day. It's like 10 number of posts, and
Yes.
they have zero meaning, they are just meaningless. So those kind of aspects will come if you are consuming the right content and you are providing the right content to your audience. So in that
Right.
way, starting in the right age, for example, a 7 or 8 year old kid is exposed to AI in a valuable way. When they are going to create a content in their 20s or 30s, they are going to be making sure that yes, I have to do this for the betterment.
Yes.
I also saw AI was helping a blind woman to actually recover and have very good eyesight, better than normal people.
Oh,
So those are some things which I am looking at. Not just, I would not stop only with fashion images. I need to make sure these images are like come into reality.
okay.
They're solving some big problems. So problem solving should be the main focus apart from creativity is what I think,
Wow.
because that will help the surroundings, that will help your own child to even grow better. And when the AI is making it easier for you, you will have much time to think about what you need to do next.
That's
So
wonderful. So, problem solving using AI. That's wonderful thinking, right? Because see, that's our purpose, right? When we create something new, of course, entertainment is there. But apart from entertainment, it should also help us achieve something. It should help others. It should help
help.
someone, right? As you rightly said, if a blind person can kind of see, kind of do something better with an AI, that's a solution,
This is a question, yeah.
right?
Correct.
And you rightly said, what I call it as responsible usage of AI. right? Just because you have a tool and you can pay for it, it's not that it is costing you a payment. It is also costing something to the environment, right? Because model inference costs, right?
Yes.
Not just money, but also what do you say, energy, right? So that's wonderful point. Responsible usage of AI and using AI for good and using AI for solving problems, right? And definitely, I think, when kids are exposed to such kind of purposes, hey, you know what? You learn, you create something useful, and you showcase. People will like it,
People like it, yes.
right? People will appreciate you, and people will, kind of use your solution, right? And that's another thing that we're also trying to do. Creativity, yes, we need it, but if we can empower our kids, with a skill, with an AI skill, through which they can also build solutions, right? So, for example, let's say if we empower a kid who can actually make a product, make an application, right? Because it's easy now. It's not like in the past where you have to write code for days and days to do something. No, that is another benefit of having AI, right? I know a lot of people say it is making easy, and because of that, jobs are going off. But that's another problem,
Yeah.
right? But it is making to do something very easily. So
Easy.
just apply that to children, right? Kids nowadays, they know better than us, I would say,
Very
right?
much.
So they are exposed to a lot of these things, and they can understand. Their intuition is better in these things. So just imagine, if we teach them, hey, you can, solve a problem with AI, right? Using, the technological advancements that are happening, right? For example, to code something, you can use a tool now. You don't need to code also. All you need to have is an idea,
Yes.
right? If you can think about something, AI will make it easy for you to build it.
And also mentor you in the right way.
Yes.
I didn't know like how to start or how to get started for any business solutions. Even if I have to write to know a business model, I have to approach a business coach or a mentor, like look out for the best people and things like that. But
Right.
with AI, I can get the breakdown properly. So imagine a kid is like exposed to a personal mentor, a personal interest, whatever the kid is interested for, you're getting the topic suggested. So the kids are definitely going to be more than just an academic success.
Yes.
They'll be exposed to innovate. That's
Yes.
that's how I'm able to see AI will be helping kids right now.
That's another interesting point you made, Mohsina. Right? So academic success, yes, we don't know, right? Even if a kid is academically successful, we don't know whether he or she is going to be successful in life.
Life.
There is no guarantee,
That's not a
right?
guarantee.
That means they need to do something more than just learning their school subjects, right? That's what you're saying.
Correct.
There
Correct.
is there should be some kind of an extra education on the things that happen in life,
Very right.
right? Because how you actually get into a job, what kind of job you do, and how you make money, right? How ideas actually get valued, right? And how you increase your strength to deal with the problems that are there in the world. How you actually market, right? How you create something and how you take it to the market and how you make them actually buy it.
Buy it.
These are all things that you do in the real life,
Correct.
right? And yeah, and I'm very glad that you are seeing, you know, you're seeing that area where if AI can actually help our kids in understanding these things before they even leave the school, because it's easy, because AI can actually fill lots of gaps. That means by the time they actually go out of the school itself, they have better capabilities and they can choose their direction in life in a better way. And of course, the change is already happening. But if we can actually do some hacking here, right? Because we're not, kind of forcing kids, because we are pushing just to make them go in a specific direction, a different direction, right? So that it is helpful. Probably it can also keep them away from regular mobile addiction,
Very much.
right? If we can
Very,
actually give them a purpose, which is exciting, probably they may get that excitement that they were getting in seeing mobiles here,
very correct.
right? This is positive excitement, right?
I want to tell you when you said about the mobile, taking away from the mobile addiction or the screen time. Now, if you see every Sunday or Saturday, the parks are full
Hmm.
because the parents understand that you have to get exposed to nature sometimes. You have to
Yes,
ensure that there's no other way around apart from your nature that's your screen time will get neglected. So that's how we need to differentiate for what purpose you want to use AI and what rest you want to solve the real world problems.
right.
So those are something very very necessary when we are going to make sure our kid is like learning out of AI. Just to say, okay, my kid learns AI, I'm educating. That's not the case.
Yeah,
What are you educating? That really matters. So
excellent.
that's how
Yeah,
as parents we'll have to think.
right. Yeah. So what is AI? Learning AI. It's not AI is not one thing, right? So it's so many things, and you can't say you learned AI and that's it.
Yeah,
That's right, because there is so much, and you can't master all of it in one go, because the AI itself is changing, right? So do you think there should be like a continuous education also?
it has to be in continuous education for sure because considering the pace that we are growing at, it has to like make sure that we are making every changes at the right time.
Right.
So we can't expose a LKG kid or lower grade kid to a first standard portion. Similar to
Yes.
that, the exposure about what kind of AI activities you want to include for your kids' betterment has to be continuously given.
Okay.
When the changes are brought in, ensuring that the right changes for the right time and for the right kid are given correctly. So
Yeah,
that's
I
me.
like that. All rights, right? So the timing should be right, and the material, the amount of knowledge should be right, and the context should be right, right?
Yes.
So that's good. That's very, very good thinking. So considering all of these things, the AI is advancing fast, right? Kids are exposed to a lot of knowledge, right? Even adults, right? So continuous AI education is required. Yes. And what happens, let's say, if we don't do that? Can you imagine, based on your experience, let's say we don't take initiative and we don't teach our kids or even adults also. I'm not just considering kids. Even there are people who are not aware of all of these things, I would say. Right? What can happen to them, let's say a year down the line? Just imagine they didn't see any of these changes, right? In 2026, January, they suddenly are exposed to this.
Right, right. So when
What might happen?
that would be extremely hard for them to catch up because at that time half the world will be like gone very very forward, and this would look dystopian for them literally,
Okay.
and that would be a major crisis is what I'd feel. So
Okay.
because that will cause a very discriminating situation, to put across in the right words if I have to say.
Okay.
People with AI will feel more powerful, though like we are not being feeling like that maybe, uh, that situation would make us feel like, okay, I can do the actual things which they don't know. Or maybe in terms of making money, like
Okay.
now you'd see people are coming out to help, stating that we know the skill, you want to get trained in the skill, you'll have to pay such and such amount. So if AI has grown to such a level and people from here are not able to catch it up, that gap there will be money for them.
Okay.
So that's going to be one type of discrimination which I would feel. So educating when slowly we are trying to raise up this wave is very important for such people. Otherwise it's really tough for them to even like think about survival.
Okay.
Automations, your job being hampered. So those things are really, for a common man at least, it's really tough for them to survive next 1 or 2 years down the line, unless and until they harness it.
I guess that was a wonderful conversation with you, Musina. Thank you. Thank you very much. Take care.
Welcome.
Bye.
You to take it. Bye bye.